Hello everyone. So in today's lesson, we're going to talk about Module 6, Learners with Additional Needs. So we have diverse types of learners, and in today's lesson, we're going to talk about the first type of learner or first type of learners. So it's about learners who are gifted and talented. So we will talk about the introduction, the definition, identification, learning characteristics, and the general educational adaptations in these kinds of learners. Children learn every day. This happens in various settings and different ways. Learning at times happens intentionally and with great effort, while there are situations where it happens almost effortlessly. So there are children who can easily learn a particular thing, but there are also children who are having a hard time. So that's why they need to do great efforts in order to understand or to learn something. So we're going to know more about these kinds of learners in this topic. So learners who are gifted and talented are students with higher abilities than average and are often referred to as gifted students. Okay, so in general, we usually call those students with higher abilities than the average students as gifted students. And this group refers to students whose talents, abilities, and potentials are developmentally advanced, and they require special provisions to meet their educational needs, thus presenting a unique challenge to teachers. Because if we have such kinds of students, we also have to consider their interest. And in order for them to learn better, so we should also provide them some challenges, and we need to even change the way we teach, or we change the different activities that they have to do. And these kinds of things are also very challenging to teachers. So additionally, these students often finish their task ahead and might ask for more creative tasks or exercises. So that is why we should give them exciting and energizing activities to continuously keep them motivated. So since they are quite advanced compared to their other classmates, so they might ask for more creative and challenging activities because the current activities might be very easy for them. So this group of students includes those with exceptional abilities from all socio-economic, ethnic, and cultural populations. So what is the difference between gifted and talented? Okay, so the term giftedness refers to students with extraordinary abilities in various academic areas. So academic areas such as mathematics, science, geography, or even language. So if they have certain ability or extraordinary ability in those areas, so they are referred to as gifted. On the other hand, talent focuses on students with extraordinary abilities in a specific area or a specific skill. So, for example, those who are good in painting, in arts, in dancing, in music, in singing, so those are referred to as talent. So, talents rather. So, those are the difference between gifted and talented students. So again, giftedness is more on the academic areas, and talent is more on a specific area or a specific skill. There is also another way to look into giftedness, which is conceptualized by Gardner or Howard Gardner in 1993. So according to him, intelligence is multifaceted. And also according to Howard Gardner, so each student or each child has his or her own kind of intelligence. So they are intelligent in their own way. And yeah, according to his multiple intelligences, so these are the different types of intelligences that a child might have. So first is we have music smart, so under the musical category, body smart under the bodily kinesthetic, people smart or interpersonal. So for those students who are very friendly, so they are referred to as people smart. And word smart under the verbal linguistic category. So those students who are good in their vocabularies or who can express themselves very well rather. And we have logic smart or logical mathematical under the logical mathematical category. So those students who are very good in mathematics, in science, and in logical thinking. And for naturalistic, we have nature smart. And for intrapersonal as well, we have self smart. And for visual spatial picture smart. Okay, so these are the different multiple intelligences. Now, let's proceed to identification. So, to identify gifted and talented students, one must do the following. So, first one is to locate the student's domain of giftedness. So, as much as possible, teachers, we should try to locate the student's domain of giftedness. So, what are their strengths and in which particular skill do they really excel? And describe the student's level of giftedness. Okay, so we should also tell the level of their giftedness and to describe the student's fields of talent. Now, let's proceed to the learning characteristics. So, not all learners will exhibit the learning characteristics listed here. However, these are the common manifestations of gifted and talented learners. One might possess a combination of characteristics in varying degrees and amounts. Okay, so the first characteristic that we have here is the high level of intellectual curiosity. So, we can often observe from these students how they ask questions, how they ask intellectual questions. So because they are very curious, so they want to know a lot of things. And they read actively. They have a high degree of task commitment. So every time we give tasks to them, so they will really make sure that they are committed and they want to finish it in the given deadline. And we have keen power of observation, so they are very observant, highly verbal, so they tend to be talkative, and they are good at expressing themselves, and gets bored easily, especially if the activities are too easy for them. They can retain and recall information easily compared to an average student, and they are excited about learning new concepts. They have or they show independence in learning. So even if we don't tell them what to do, so they'll just do it on their own. Good comprehension of complex context. So they have a wider understanding in understanding of some context. They have a strong, well-developed imagination. They look for new ways to do things, and they often give uncommon responses to common questions. So they might ask some different or weird questions, but that's how they really think. Okay, so again, these are just some of the common manifestations of gifted and talented learners. So there might be other characteristics that are not listed here. Now, let's proceed to general educational adaptations. Okay, so learners who are gifted and talented usually get bored since they have mastered the concept taught in classes. One thing that is common among gifted students is that they are very inquisitive. So, as what we have mentioned earlier, so these students, since they are more advanced than other students, so they might or they usually finish the task earlier than others. So if the activities are too easy for them, so they usually get bored. And also, their common characteristic is that they are very inquisitive, so they ask a lot of questions. So fulfilling their instructional needs may be a challenging task, and these are some suggested strategies for teaching gifted students. So the first one that we have here is that teachers may give enrichment exercises that will allow learners to study the same topic at a more advanced level. So teachers should come up with some challenging exercises, or it might be a different exercise compared to the average students, so that they'll be more motivated and they'll be more interested to learn that particular topic. So it should match their level, or the activity should match their level. And another one, acceleration can let students who are gifted and talented can move at their own pace, thus resulting at times to in completing two grade levels in one school year. Yeah, so this is possible for these gifted and talented students. So since they are more advanced than the others and their level might be equivalent to a higher level kind of student. So it is possible to accelerate them or to let them complete two grade levels in one school year. We also have here open-ended activities with no right or wrong answers can be provided, emphasizing on divergent thinking wherein there are more possibilities than predetermined answers. So we can also encourage them to answer some questions, some interesting questions, and these questions should or are not required to have a right or wrong answer. So the main purpose is to let them think and to let them give reasons or to share what they think about in those questions about those questions. And leadership roles can also be given to gifted students since studies have shown that gifted students are often socially immature. So, in order to help them to build their confidence in socializing, so we can also give them some leadership roles. So, they can share their knowledge to their classmates, and at the same time, they will improve their social abilities. So another thing, extensive reading on subjects of their own interest may be coordinated with the school librarian to further broaden their knowledge. So we can or we should also promote extensive reading to these students. So it means yeah, they can read for or they read for enjoyment and pleasure. So it means we should allow them to read materials or books that they are really interested in. So this is to, yeah, to broaden their knowledge about a particular topic. So we should promote extensive reading to these students. And long-term activities may also be provided. So that will give the gifted students an opportunity to be engaged for an extended period of time. And so long-term activities are encouraged to help them improve their social skills and at the same time to allow them to be more engaged for an extended period of time. And that would be all for this topic. Thank you so much for listening.